Hi everyone, I'm going to react to Loki, Season 2, Episode 5. This is called Science slash Fiction. Alright, let's get started. Thank you for being here today. He knew it all until he didn't. They began living their lives and then it didn't. It's interesting how it turned. If he remains new of all these words, including the Loom, for example, he drove. Why didn't he make the reeds bigger to begin with? But however, and here goes the Reaper said. This basically just rebooted the MCU in a type of way where anything could happen. Who knows how? What's it come? Oh. The noise. All of that. The time room looks decent. I feel like I'm pretty sure I assume he time slipped when he did this temporary. And this place is so cool. I love it. The design of this. That was a good shot. Oh, there. Love it. There's no pie. Okay. I didn't. I probably started. It's not Dewey there, so just the artist people aren't there yet, so it's, the body's on there. Hey, that makes sense. It's a callback to the first episode when Loki was going for it, and then everything goes full circle here. The floor isn't cracked, I think. From the middle, when the orange model thing fell. Huh. Oh, so is this episode then? I feel like I saw this before in the first season, so I didn't see that. TVA is spaghetti. So safe initiated. Thank you for your service. The clock ticking. Time is ticking. Miss Minutes, what you do? Oh, look at the intro. It felt a little different there. What happened there? What happened there? Casey. 的 ship. He looks like Casey. Nineteen 1962 branch timelines of astrology. Branch timeline of it. Hey, kind fish. There's Loki. Frank. Another, he's a variant, potential variant. Now they saw him. Hey, look what they had. Jet ski. Time data. 2012, Branch Timeline, New York. Branch Timeline first, but around the time of the Avengers. I just a daughter. Don't climb trees. Resembles don't climb trees as in don't climb the root of the timeline or the trunk of it. Or something like that. It's kind of like that. Mobius and jet ski. Dawn. 2022 branch timeline, Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Charlotte, Ohio, and where Winslayer was principal. And also, that person was in Civil War. Simo was in Civil War. I didn't even prefer, I prefer Bad Ghost. And that thing is that what Loki's doing. Look at that. Hello, indeed. Damn. He was here. He has a son. Did it fit me? Trust me, I was right. They always disappear. So many words. 1994, British timeline, Pasadena, California. Alright. Maybe around tomorrow's time, maybe. Hey, dog. The closed captions is dog. He's an after. He's a writer, he wrote the hamburger. That makes sense. That's a line why he. I want to see all those sports. I would definitely grab one of his sports. Hopefully it's all your back of that. The nothing from the outro. I'm gonna have to pause that and look at that and later. That was his stuff. He's when after his right stuff we put sticky notes so and that's chords. I'm trying to do that now. That's cool. I love this. Yeah. He has a computer, he has sci-fi, he's a engineering science engineering after what character. This place looks like the Loom thing, the way he works in TVA. The architecture is similar. He's so excited. Is he writing the TVA? Sons of Yanni. Sons of Yanni. Yeah. Yeah. What's it say? What's it say? No, on board. Tread. Yes, it is. We saw it. Call back to what he said to Mobius about time slipping in TV. Fiction itself, fiction actually. Yeah. He didn't throw where he goes. The legend. It doesn't seem random. Yep. made sounds. He's a physical tempad. He's a probably a human version of a TVA. But that TVA, said TVA. Yeah, why not? Carvin's Loki. Or try less. Less is more. Closer to the border. He knows the what, but not the where. Every single one. Alright. Brilliant. Does he have one? You have a handbook. Oh, that page is blank. I also need to say that. Well, that's up to him. Dawn. He has more than one kid. That looks like the Minuteman. Kevin. Sean. All the toys are on the floor. He lost his wife. Bombarder. Yes, he's 35 landed. Maybe that's not his real name. Maybe it's the name to be defined. The band. Put the pants in the cup. The photo's moving. Yes. Moving the photo. They just made a movie about it. Not just The bug. Or time name. Space time name. Sylvie. Oh, that's been honest for you. That's that's food that disappears. She's Loki. Syntec. Yeah, it's a little much and all an instant. It was easy for Sylvie then. And survive, perhaps. disappeared. Dr. Willis. Where's that button? Sorry, don't bait for it. Is that thing from the outro? Take me. That one's I did the lamp to turn of it with the TVA colors. Oh, that was Loki. Not in there. Sweet, not in. Sweet, but look at this. Ooh, that's cool with the glass. Oh. Isn't it now? gosh. We're at the end game now? Was. Where's it all go? Sylvie. The time sleeping. I thought there's a lot of, actually a lot of references. There's a lot of things that this episode called back to for the entire Loki series, and a lot of things about the time looping itself, and then everything. To get as much as possible. The thing with we saw with Loki want to find out what happened with in the TVA. He keeps slipping and stuff that has happened with him. He finds himself. He finds like the past version of him, and then when we see the present, we see the past Loki that we just saw it, and seeing Loki read the TVA handbook, and then the stuff with time, the TVA being spaghettified. There's a lot of stuff that he tries to recruit everyone, and he finds other characters from the TVA. He finds that Casey was in Alcatraz, and the thing was Casey wanted to. He was talking about going to fish and stuff that he wanted. He was a criminal, so he's the last person he would respect. But his name isn't Casey's fake, and it's based off a real life event that happened, and then they never found, and then but Casey was the one who was never found, so there's two found. Anyways, he finds the other characters. He finds that Mobius is actually a salesman and who sells jet skis. That's why he loves the jet skis. I thought we would see the magazine that he had from the first episode of, or the second episode of Loki for the first season, and then, but we didn't, and then the stuff that he said about he enjoys the desserts such as the donuts, and I said, I prefer bagels, but I did Mobius prefer the key lime pie, and then speaking of the Ouroboros character, he's a Brazilian author. He's actually the most fascinating character in this episode. He's author. He's a science fiction. He loves science fiction, and he's studying everything for his own book, and also he feels like the TVA handbook that Loki gave him. He gave to him because he needed a temp pad to work to make it, and there's a lot of things that happen within all this, and Loki finds all of them in their own branch timelines. So it's not a sacred timeline, it's a branch timelines. And the thing with Loki and Mobius, they had a conversation about Mobius being taken from his life and being brought into TVA. It seems like Loki's the one who kidnapped them, and then the thing with their minds being erased. I feel like that was definitely he who remains in the previous few episodes ago. After he was talking to Winslayer in Citadel, he told Miss Minutes to wipe everyone's memories. So I feel like he remains wanted to, or whoever is the main one in charge in TVA, wanted he remains and Loki to work together, and but also by working separately when it comes to bringing people in TVA. So Loki will recruit the main ones of the TVA, and then he remains to erase their memories eventually. The thing is, I wonder how that worked for everyone else who works in TVA. There's just like so many people in TVA, and it's unsure if they made it seem like Loki's. I feel like it's not only Loki who's recruited everyone in TVA. I feel like there's a bunch of other people that are definitely involved. However, it seems that for this episode at least, it seems that when it comes to the main characters, the main people who work in TVA, it's Loki who brought them in, and then Kane would erase the memories and start from scratch, So that's what I'm thinking about. Parents in the cub about the typical thing that Mobius discussed at Hollywood in the favorite, and Loki even mentions the cup thing about the typical later in the episode, and the thing that's Loki talking to Mobius, who his name is Don. The thing about the names is unsure if that's their actual names or that's the names that Loki gives them. So Loki says Mobius, so I feel like Don would will hear that name and will like that name, and so then will use it when he goes to the TVA heaven. However, he won't remember how he got the name. December when Mobius was talking to Ouroboros about the fact that Ouroboros didn't remember talking to Loki back then, and 400 years ago, but yet remembers now when Mobius was talking to Ouroboros as he was reminding him. And the thing with on a side note about Ouroboros and Loki, and then and there was an episode where I sure I said this in the other review, but when they were talking about time slipping in TVA, I think that was the first episode. Yeah, for episode 1 of season 2, where they talked about it's been like 400 years. To remind that I think that maybe when it's 2012 in the timeline, Loki was about, he said, over 1,000 years old, so the fact that Loki, the TVA won't know his existence, and in the first, the first episode of Loki, Mobius was talking to Loki about that we've seen everything play out in your life and in the TVA, and including the stuff about DB Cooper, which are the twin, but and then about the fact that everything that it's like the TVA knows Loki's entire life for years and years and years, right? Throughout his whole life, for so many years yet. And that conversation with Mobius and Ouroboros talking to each other about the 400 years, and that's a bit weird. Just that they didn't see Loki's entire life, but they did. But that was really confusing. And the thing about the DB could put in this coverage of Casey being Frank and being missing. DB Cooper was also missing and was never found. So Loki and Casey had a connection there with crime, being criminals, and I think that's something that the public saw Loki as a criminal in that way. And the thing about Dawn and his children, one of them is that one of them is that troublemaker, the one's more the kind one going after him. And that bicycles are green and red, which resembles Thor and Loki. So I feel like that Kevin dude is probably the Loki of the show. So Mobius is taking care of Loki and Thor. not Jane. But and then there's that window with a blanket, so the Kevin dude's sneaking out at night, making trouble and burning the toy. Try like said from Toy Story, but the toy looks like Minutemen from the TVA Minutemen. So it goes back to the point where in the first episode of Loki, when Loki and Mobius were talking about burning the TVA down, that Kevin dude burned the Minutemen, as in burning the TVA. Mobius who's Dawn, he would tell the Kevin kid, like, don't do that. Basically, it resembles the fact that Mobius is telling Loki throughout mostly season 1 not to burn the TVA down or anything like that. B-15, who was in the Secret Timeline in 2012, around the same time Loki was in the Avengers film, right? Loki in the Avengers film, that was in 2012, so she was the little girl climbed the tree, and I was thinking about the tree as in tree free, which means it's kind of like this root multiverse branch thing, where instead of the Secret Timeline going this way, it was up and down. Even it was down to up. It's like a tree, it's like a branch, and it was like this. Then the little girl is like climbing trees, and that's something that resembles B-15, telling the girl to be careful, as in she cares about the lives of the people within the branches. It's what, even in this season, season 2, she's more focused on saving people within the timeline, and isn't people who she never has known or met within the branch timelines, and that's something that she cares about, and she took the oath when she was speaking to dots, right, in that bedroom TVA where the cane faces were covered up and everything. Then so the thing about the tree reading is kind of like, I mentioned something about the way it was with the way the timeline is. I feel like it's more so about the family ancestor type of thing. I'll leave a link in the description about it, so you can check it out. What I mean by that, it's more detail on that. I feel like it's more about the ancestor generation tree, more so than the timeline tree, but it's not one same. However, I feel like it's worth a look. Then I want to talk about Dawn and Ouroboros. Ouroboros said that his wife left him, which is upsetting. Dawn, who's Mobius, it was in 2022 in the Rush timeline, so it says his wife is gone, and I think I was thinking at first it said his wife passed. However, I don't think that's the case. I feel like in that secret timeline, the snap happened, so I assume she got lost it if there was a Thanos, if there was a snap event that happened that branch timeline. So then that would make sense why he would say that she was gone, but not gone, you know what I'm saying? So there's a possibility that we can probably see her come back if they go to a branch timeline after 2023, or they go, or if it's a timeline, there's a possibility the kids to point out that that's their mom, meaning that's Mobius' wife, and Mobius to be like, wow. The thing of Loki talking to Mobius about the jet ski, about something about function, and then it's something that he told him in the beginning of the series, and then the Tempad, actually, the Ouroboros was trying to create. He made it in like 19, 18 months. I feel like he mentioned his wife leaving him during that time period, as he was like so constantly busy being a workaholic and working on all these things. So when all this Tempad, and its Tempad is it's so big and not functional, but it's functional. The word does it has the components for it, and also the knowledge of it from the TVA handbook that he wrote, and based on the stuff that he on the book that he wrote, and him writing a book that he wants to sell and he wants people to read, and kind of draws back to the TVA of not a lot of people reading the handbook and not people caring who the author is. They just see it, and if he has some followers, like he has like some fans like Casey and all these, and it's the thing with the book. The book always reminds me of Scott Lane and his book about the book that events that he has been through throughout his MCU journey, and then stuff like Scott and Ouroboros will be the co-writer. I see those two writing their own book. Hopefully, like what they did with the Scott Lane book. I haven't tried it yet, but I would love to have one. And if they make that book from Ouroboros or TVA handbook in real life, we can actually read and see Sylvia's McDonald's that she she puts her food on thing, and then the food spaghettifies itself, and so that's how food is. Again, that's what the food is there. Anyways, they don't mention much about Kane, however. They only a little bit with Sylvie and stuff that Sylvie and Loki, they talked about all these things about what's happened, and she remembers because she, for some reason she does, because there's no other variant of her, and she's in her branch timeline that we saw her when she was in the 1980s or something, when she was working in, we first saw her in McDonald's. So then she talks to Loki in the bar about the choice, about what she asking Loki what she wants Loki to answer about what he wants. And so with that scene, I think about the time when Loki and Mobius were talking to each other. What if Loki won the Avengers battle? If he was the king of Midgard, what would be next for him? That conversation with Mobius and Loki in the first episode also connects with the moment of Sylvie and Loki here. And then that's something that kind of reminded me of that, about what does Loki desire, and what does he want, and what's his glorious purpose, quote, glorious purpose in all this. And the thing that the bartender told Sylvie, excellent choice, Sylvie, so that drove go back to later in the episode, when the fact that Sylvie was right about the fact that the putting all the pens together in the mug worked, and the fact that it made Loki control the time slipping, which he didn't really have, he didn't know how to do in the beginning of the episode, and then it was something to our boys about all these things that happened within all this. They recruited B-15, who's the variant is actually a daughter. And speaking of daughter, the thing is that the Loki was talking about time slipping and all these things, and he was thinking about now why, when, or how, but who, as in Doctor Who, and thinking about exterminating the timeline. I'm kidding. But for real, I think that the fact that Loki figured out it was him that was able to control the time slipping, and the fact that Sylvie, at first, she wanted him to, she left, and then she went to a vinyl shop. She put on headphones and just listening to a song of a record player, and about like this record, the song that we play a record, it loops itself and plays the song, that it's expected after you know what song you got here, and what's on it when you have the record player play the song, and then it was like the thing is like the camera looping itself with the record player, and then the record some spiraling up, and then with the everywhere being spaghettified. It really fits in so well, and the visual shot was so well done. And a lot of things about Sylvie I really admire with all this, with her being doing the right thing with all this, or the thing with when Loki was in the TVA in the beginning of the episode. That was actually it sounded like Miss Minutes, but I feel like it's Tara Strong just in her regular voice versus her Miss Minutes voice. There wasn't Red Slayer in this episode, and there wasn't Kane, even though they didn't mention Red Slayer in this episode. And oh yeah, they didn't, even though they didn't mention Red Slayer with Mobius, who was Don, who's a salesman. He was in Cleveland, and Cleveland reminded me of the high school where in the first episode, episode 5 of season 1 of Loki, right? Where Hunter B-15, right? She was in school talking to other Minutemen about the TVA Minutemen guards, about seeing the actual variant of Windslayer. So that would be like the same place, perhaps. It'd be crazy if it'd been interesting if since Mobius, who's with Dawn, is in Cleveland. I feel like if Windslayer, the variant of Windslayer, was his neighbor, that'd be so funny. And I was thinking about Cleveland as well, Cleveland, Ohio, where in the Winter Soldier, Zemo was talking to his Hydra agent about the birth for Bucky, but I don't know, that's reminded me of that, but it has something to do with Civil War. Yeah, that's of the location because of it's in Ohio. So yeah, overall stuff that has happened to loop itself back or forward, and I think said make Loki finally have control of everything within the Temple and Casey want to rob a bank. He wanted to rob a bank, and the thing that I find interesting about him is the fact that he mentioned something about if they go back to their regular lives, they have to go back to exactly where they were, or anything like that. And I feel like Mobius and Dawn and Casey with Frank, I feel like Frank would like to jet ski certain they have other dress. A lot of stuff from the outro is actually in this episode, such as the sick, search. But there's so many Easter eggs, and that's how Ouroboros used to write his story, and that's what writers do. That's what I do when I have it, and that starts to sick, so and that starts to help writers write more better and be organized more better and stuff like that. There's that monkey from the outro, and it's actually from the vinyl shop, but then they have a vinyl in the outro that's different from it's a different song from the one that Sylvie listened to. However, it feels like the same mood, So that's interesting how that is. It's interesting seeing footage from the outro being brought into the show. It's really refreshing to see stuff like that. I really love that. Yeah, but things that I noticed from the end credit scene. So that's actually really interesting how all that work. Even though I didn't about this episode, one more episode left, and then later after this, after the next episode, we have the Marvels. So with the time loop exploding, right? I feel like it kind of reset it. It kind of like rebooted the MCU in some way, possibly. That's big. What if? What if? Anyways, so what I'm saying is a possibility that there are some events that happen in the Marvels in the future, in the Marvels film, where things should be different, probably because of time changing itself. So everything that happens within the Carol Danvers' sacred timeline should be different based on the events that happen here on Loki. So that could be something interesting to think about. Kira remains and Kane and all these things. I'm really interested in seeing what's gonna happen with all this and what Slayer is up to and what's gonna happen with Miss Minutes. All these things that'll be interesting. This episode was so good, so well done. I actually enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about the episode. Let me know what you think about Loki, Sylvie, Mobius, Ouroboros, B-15 or any of the variants. Oh, and the thing about the when they were in the Sylvie and Loki were in talking to each other about the what Loki wants and all these things about he wants what Loki wants for the TV. He doesn't want to do this alone. He wants friends, and that's something that I really feel for him to see. We see him grow and progress throughout the series. I really love. Anyways, the arcade machine is at Zaniac, so it's the same franchise that Brad was in when they were in London talking to his life in the TV. So they made a movie and then they turned it into an arcade video game. And then another episode. Thank you for watching. I'll see you for episode 6 next time.